My name is Emily Harper Rodriguez, and this is the story of how I went from being the sweet daughter-in-law who finally got accepted to the woman who slammed the door on her entire in-law family forever. It started with love, a beautiful wedding, and a tiny baby who smelled like heaven. And ended with my mother-in-law calling my newborn son it because he wasn't pure blood. Let me take you back to the very beginning so you understand exactly how deep the rot went. I met Carl in the summer of 2017 at a rooftop bar in downtown Chicago. I was 25, freshly single after a string of terrible boyfriends, wearing a sundress and sipping a margarita I couldn't really afford. Carl was 28, broad-shouldered, laughing loud with his friends, wearing a faded Cubs hat and a button-down with the sleeves rolled up. When our eyes met across the bar, he smiled like he already knew me. 10 minutes later, he was buying my drink and telling me his mum made the best tamales in the city. We fell hard and fast. Late-night talks, weekend getaways to Michigan, him cooking me breakfast in my tiny apartment while I sketched logos for my freelance clients. Carl was patient, funny, protective. The first man who ever made me feel completely safe. After a year, he introduced me to his mother, Maria. Maria Rodriguez was a force. 61 years old, still running 3 taquerias she built from nothing after her husband died young. She wore gold crosses, spoke Spanish faster than I could follow, and had a stare that could freeze you in place. The first time I walked into her big suburban house in Naperville, the walls were covered in framed photos of Carl as a baby, Carl's communion, Carl's high school graduation. Every picture showing the same dark hair, dark eyes, pure Rodriguez blood, as she called it later. She hugged me that night, but it was the kind of hug that measured you. When Carl went to the kitchen, she leaned in and said softly, "You seem like a nice girl, Emily, but my son, he has responsibilities to his name, to his blood. You understand?" I smiled politely and told her I loved Carl more than anything. She patted my cheek and changed the subject. I should have listened to that warning, but love makes you stupid. We got engaged in 2019 on a trip to Puerto Vallarta. Carl proposed at sunset with his grandmother's ring, rose gold with a tiny diamond. I cried so hard I couldn't speak. When we called Maria from the beach, she was quiet for a long second, then said, "Congratulations, mijo. Bring her home so we can plan a proper wedding. A Catholic one, with tradition." Planning the wedding was war by another name. Maria wanted a full mass, 300 guests, all her cousins from Guadalajara, a mariachi band, the works. I wanted something small and interfaith. My dad is Protestant. I grew up going to both churches. Every time I pushed back, Maria would sigh and say, "This is how we do things in a real family, Emily. Pure traditions. You'll learn." Carl always tried to keep the peace. "She's just old school, babe. Give her this one." So I gave her a lot. I converted to Catholicism for the ceremony, even though I still don't fully believe. I wore the long lace mantilla she picked. I let her cousins pin dollar bills to my dress during the reception. The only thing I fought for was my last name staying Harper in my professional life. Maria hated that too. On our wedding day, during her toast, she raised her glass and said, "To my son and his beautiful new wife. May their children carry the Rodriguez name proudly and keep our bloodline strong and pure, the way God intended." Everyone clapped. I felt ice in my stomach. Carl squeezed my hand under the table and whispered, "She's just emotional, Em. Ignore it." We honeymooned in Hawaii, came home, bought a cute 3-bedroom in the suburbs, started trying for a baby almost immediately because Carl wanted to be a young dad. I got pregnant on the first try. We found out at 8 weeks. Carl cried in the ultrasound room. I threw up every morning for 4 straight months. Maria's reaction when we told her in person? She smiled tightly, kissed Carl on both cheeks, then looked at me and said, "Make sure you eat liver, lots of iron, and pray every night that it's a boy. A boy keeps the blood pure." I laughed it off. Hormones, right? The pregnancy was rough. Hyperemesis, bed rest at 28 weeks, constant calls from Maria telling me I was too American for complaining, that in Mexico, women worked in the fields until they delivered. Carl defended me every time, but I could see the guilt on his face. He hated disappointing her. Then, September 2022. I went into labour at 3 a.m. Carl drove like a maniac. 18 hours later, Ethan James Rodriguez was born. 7 pounds, 3 ounces, perfect APGAR scores, a full head of dark hair, and the most startling blue eyes. My eyes. When the nurse placed him on my chest, skin to skin, I felt something click into place I can't explain. This tiny human was mine. Ours. The best thing I'd ever done. Carl cut the cord. He kissed my forehead, tears running down his face. "He's perfect, Em. Look at him. Our son." We sent the text to the family group chat. Maria replied with a thumbs-up emoji and said she'd come in the morning. She arrived at 10:17 a.m., perfectly dressed in a cream blouse and pearls, carrying a giant teddy bear and a gift bag from Neiman Marcus. Carl was holding Ethan, rocking him gently. "Mum, meet your grandson, Ethan James." Maria walked over slowly. She looked down into the bundle. Then she stopped. Her face went completely blank. Carl held Ethan out a little. "Mum, want to hold him?" She took one step back. "No." Carl laughed, confused. "What do you mean, no?" Maria's voice was ice. "I mean no, Carlos. I will not hold that. It is not my blood. Look at it. Those eyes, that pale skin. This is not a Rodriguez. Our family has pure Mexican blood for generations. Strong blood. Unmixed. This thing is diluted. Half-breed. It will never carry our name properly." The room went dead silent, except for the heart monitor beeping. Carl's mouth opened, closed. "Mum, he's half me. He's your grandson." "Half is not enough," she snapped. "I told you when you married her. I warned you. You chose this white girl with her blue eyes and her Protestant family, and now you have this. It is not my grandson. It is nothing to me." She turned to me, lying there in the hospital bed, still in the ugly gown, exhausted, stitched up, high on pain meds and love. "You did this, Emily. You ruined my son's bloodline. I hope you're happy." Then she picked up her purse, left the teddy bear on the chair, and walked out. The door clicked shut. I started crying so hard I couldn't breathe. Ethan began to wail.
Carl stood frozen, still holding our baby, staring at the door like he expected her to come back and say it was a joke. It wasn't a joke. That was the moment I realized. My mother-in-law had just declared war on my child because of the color of his eyes and the shade of his skin. And I was never, ever going to let her win.
The hospital room felt smaller after Maria left. The air was thick with the smell of antiseptic and the faint metallic tang of my own blood still drying on the sheets. Ethan's cries had turned into those hiccuping, exhausted sobs that break your heart. Carl finally moved, like he'd been shocked back to life, and placed our son gently back in my arms. I held him against my chest, rocking slowly, whispering, "Shh, baby. Mama's here," over and over until his breathing evened out. Carl sat on the edge of the bed, head in his hands. I don't know what to say, Em. That wasn't her. She's never said anything like that before. I looked at him, tears still streaming down my face. She's said versions of it for years, Carl. Every time she talked about pure blood. Every time she sighed about my last name. Every time she told you I was too American. You just never wanted to hear it. He flinched like I'd slapped him. She's my mom. She raised me alone. She sacrificed everything. And now she's sacrificing our son because his eyes are blue instead of brown. I cut in, voice shaking. She called him it. She called our baby it, Carl. Like he's defective. Like I poisoned your precious bloodline. He didn't argue. He just stared at the floor. After a long silence, he muttered, "I'll talk to her. She'll come around. She's just old-fashioned. She doesn't mean it." But she did mean it. I knew it in my bones. The rest of that hospital stay was a blur. Nurses came and went checking vitals, helping me nurse Ethan for the first time. He latched like a champ. Thank God. My own parents flew in from Ohio the next day. Mom brought homemade chicken soup and cried happy tears when she held her first grandchild. Dad, quiet as always, just kept saying, "He's perfect, kiddo. Look at those little fingers." No one from Carl's side came except his younger sister, Sophia. She showed up the afternoon Maria left, eyes red from crying. She hugged me tight, whispered, "I'm so sorry," and held Ethan like he was made of glass. "He's beautiful, Emily. Don't listen to her. She's always been like this about blood. Remember when she wouldn't let me date that black guy in college? Same thing." Sophia stayed for hours, taking photos, bringing coffee, trying to lighten the mood. But even she couldn't fix what Maria had broken. We were discharged 2 days later. Carl drove us home in silence. I sat in the back with Ethan's car seat, watching his tiny chest rise and fall under the blanket. Every time we hit a red light, I checked to make sure he was breathing. New mom anxiety on top of everything else. The first night home was rough. Ethan cluster-fed every hour. I was sore, exhausted, emotional. Carl tried to help, changing diapers, bringing me water, but he kept checking his phone. I knew who he was waiting for. Around 2 a.m., while I was nursing in the rocking chair, Carl's phone lit up. A text from Maria. He read it, face hardening, then showed me. "Maria, Carlos, I hope you understand I only want what's best for our family. That child is not one of us. I cannot pretend otherwise. When you're ready to talk like adults, call me. I love you, mijo." No apology. No, I was wrong. Just more of the same poison, wrapped in love. I handed the phone back without a word. Carl deleted the message and turned the phone face down. The next morning, things escalated. Carl's aunt started calling. First Aunt Rosa, Maria's older sister. "Emily, honey, Maria is devastated. She didn't mean it that way. Come over for dinner this weekend. Bring the baby. She wants to see him. I was holding Ethan while Carl had her on speaker. Rosa, she called my son it and refused to hold him because he's not pure. She said I ruined the bloodline. How exactly didn't she mean it? Rosa sighed dramatically. You Americans take everything so literally. She's from a different time. In Mexico, we value la raza pura. It's cultural. She'll get over it when she sees how cute he is. I hung up. Then came Aunt Carmen, Uncle Javier, even Carl's cousin Luis, who I barely knew. All with the same script. Maria was hurt, traditional, old school. None of them said she was wrong. None offered to tell her to apologize. They just wanted me to smooth it over so the family could pretend nothing happened. By day 5 home, I was done. I sat Carl down after Ethan's afternoon nap. We need to talk about boundaries. He nodded, looking tired. I know. I'll call her and tell her she needs to apologize. No, I said. That's not enough. She doesn't get to come back with an "I'm sorry if you were offended," and then hold my baby like nothing happened. She attacked him. In front of us. In the hospital. That's not forgivable with words. Carl rubbed his face. She's my mom. I can't just cut her out. You don't have to, I told him. But I do. And Ethan does. Until she genuinely understands what she did and makes real amends, not fake ones. She doesn't get access to us. No visits, no photos, no texts about him. Nothing. He stared at me like I'd suggested burning the house down. You're serious. Dead serious. She called our newborn defective because of his race, because he looks like me. That's racism, Carl. Plain and simple. And I won't expose my son to someone who sees him as less than because of who his mother is. Carl stood up, pacing. She's not racist. She's just proud of her heritage. She wants the family to look a certain way. Proud of her heritage doesn't mean shitting on mine, or on our child's. If she can't accept Ethan exactly as he is, blue eyes, fair skin, half white, then she doesn't get to be part of his life. He stopped pacing. What about me? She's my mom. I still want a relationship with her. Then have one, I said softly. Go see her. Call her. But don't bring her into our home. Don't ask me to forgive her. And don't ask me to let her near Ethan until she proves she's changed. Carl sat back down, defeated. This is going to tear the family apart. The family was already torn the second she looked at our son and saw diluted instead of beautiful. That night, Carl called Maria. I didn't listen in. I stayed in the nursery with Ethan, singing him lullabies. But I could hear Carl's voice rising through the walls, angry, hurt, pleading, then silence, then more yelling. When he came to bed, his eyes were red. She said if I choose you and the baby over her, I'm no longer her son. My heart broke for him, but not enough to change my mind. I'm sorry, I whispered. He pulled me close. I choose you. I choose Ethan. Every time. For the first time since the hospital, I believed him. The next few weeks were quiet on the surface. We focused on Ethan, his first smiles, his little coos, the way he gripped my finger like it was a lifeline. Carl took paternity leave, helped with night feeds, cooked meals. We were a little family unit healing. But the texts kept coming. From Maria, from aunts, from cousins, all variations of, how can you do this to your mother? Think of Carl. He's suffering. The baby needs his abuela. You're being cruel, Emily. Let it go. I blocked every number that wasn't Carl's immediate family. Sophia stayed on our side, thank God. Carl blocked most too, but he kept one line open with Maria. Just in case she comes around, he said. She didn't. 3 months in, Ethan's first Christmas. My parents came to stay. We decorated a tiny tree, hung stockings, took 1,000,000 photos. Carl's phone buzzed non-stop, family group chat blowing up with pictures from Maria's house, her tree, her tamales, her other grandkids, Sophia's 2 boys who are pure and therefore worthy. No mention of Ethan, no Merry Christmas to us. Carl stared at the photos for a long time, then turned his phone off. That night, after everyone was asleep, he came to me in the kitchen while I was making tea. I think I need to go no contact too, for a while. I hugged him so tight. You don't have to do it for me. I'm doing it for us, he said. For Ethan. I won't let her make him feel like he's less. It was the first real step toward the door I would eventually slam forever. But the real explosion, the one that sealed everything, was still coming.
Ethan turned 1 on September 15th, 2023. We threw a small backyard party. Balloons, a smash cake shaped like a little truck, his obsession. My mum flying in from Ohio with a suitcase full of handmade quilts. Carl grilled burgers. I took 1,000 photos. Ethan smeared blue frosting across his cheeks and laughed like the world was brand new. No card from Maria. No text. Nothing. Carl stared at his phone longer than usual that day. I didn't say anything. Some silences are louder when they're chosen. By age 2, Ethan was talking in full sentences, running everywhere, and asking questions that broke my heart in the sweetest way. Why don't I have an abuelita like Diego at daycare? Diego's abuelita picked him up every afternoon, brought him empanadas, called him mi amor, loud enough for the whole playground to hear. I knelt down to Ethan's level. Some grandmas and grandpas live far away, or they're busy. But you have Nana and Papa who love you so much, and Mummy and Daddy who love you more than anything. He nodded solemnly. Okay, but if my abuelita comes, can she bring cookies? I forced a smile. We'll see, baby. Carl overheard. Later that night, he said, We should tell him the truth when he's older. Age appropriate. I don't want him thinking it's his fault. Agreed, I said. But not yet. Let him be little. We kept the boundary ironclad. No unblocking. No holiday, just checking in texts from cousins. When Tia Rosa sent a birthday card to our old address, somehow she still had it, it went straight to the shredder unopened. We moved twice in those years, first to a bigger house with a fenced yard, then to a quieter neighborhood with better schools. Each move felt like shedding skin. Ethan started preschool at 3. The All About Me poster project came home one day. A big sheet of construction paper with photos of family. Ethan drew stick figures, me with yellow hair, Carl with black, himself with blue dot eyes. In the grandparent spot, he put Nana, my mum, and Papa, my dad. No blank space for Maria. He hadn't even asked to add one. His teacher emailed, Ethan is so loved and secure. What a beautiful family. I cried in the car after reading it. At 4, kindergarten, field day, grandparents' day. Every other kid had at least one set of grandparents there, cheering from the bleachers, taking photos, handing out water bottles. My parents flew in for it. They brought signs that said, Go Ethan, in glitter. Carl's side? Empty chairs where they should have been. Ethan didn't notice, or if he did, he didn't say. He won the sack race and hugged my dad's legs afterward, yelling, Papa, I fast like cheetah. That night, Carl sat on the porch swing alone for a long time. When he came in,
His eyes were red.
I miss what could have been,
He admitted.
not her the way she is. The mum I thought she was.
I held him. You gave her every chance. She chose pride over our son. He nodded.
I know, but it still hurts.
Therapy helped. We went together now, couple sessions every other week. The therapist called it ambiguous loss, grieving someone still alive. Carl learned to name it. I learned not to carry his guilt. Then came the health scare. Ethan was 4.5, spring 2027, a random Tuesday. Carl's phone rang from an unknown Illinois number. He almost didn't answer. It was Tia Rosa. Carlos, mijo, it's your mom. She's in the hospital. Heart attack. They're saying it's serious. She keeps asking for you, for her grandson. Carl froze. I watched his face go through every stage. Shock, fear, anger, guilt, in seconds.
Is she okay?
He asked. Stable now, but she wants to see you. She says she regrets everything. She wants to apologize. I shook my head slowly. No. Carl put it on speaker. Rosa kept going. She cries every night. She has pictures of Ethan from Facebook before you blocked her. She shows the nurses. My nieto, she says. My beautiful boy with the blue eyes. She knows she was wrong. Carl's voice cracked.
Tia, we can't just...
She's asking for forgiveness before it's too late. We hung up. Carl sat on the couch, head in hands. I sat beside him. Do you want to go?
I don't know.
He whispered.
Part of me wants to believe she's changed. For him. So he doesn't grow up wondering if she ever cared.
And the other part? The other part remembers the hospital room, remembers it, remembers Diluted, remembers the lawsuit. We talked for hours, called the therapist for an emergency session. She asked one question that cut through everything. If you go, and she's exactly the same, still making excuses, still blaming Emily, still fixated on pure blood, what will that do to Ethan if he meets her? Carl answered without hesitation. It would break him. We decided no visit, no call. Carl sent one message through Rosa's number. Tell her I'm sorry she's ill. I hope she recovers. But our decision stands. No contact. Rosa replied with a photo of Maria in the hospital bed, tubes, monitors, looking small and frail. A note attached. This is your mother. Your son deserves to know her. Carl deleted it, blocked the number. Maria recovered, slowly. Rosa stopped reaching out. We thought that was the end of the guilt trips. We were wrong. Ethan turned 5 in September 2027, started kindergarten for real, soccer on Saturdays, library story time, normal, beautiful kid stuff. Then came the school fall festival, October 2027. Craft booths, pumpkin decorating, a little petting zoo. Parents volunteered, grandparents too. I was manning the face paint table. Carl was helping with the bounce house. Ethan was running between games, face painted like a tiger. I saw her before she saw me. Maria.
standing by the entrance gate, wearing the same cream blouse she wore the day Ethan was born, clutching a small gift bag. Hair greyer now, eyes searching the crowd. My blood turned to ice. She spotted Ethan first, his blue eyes unmistakable, even under tiger stripes. She took a step forward. I dropped the paintbrush, moved fast. "Carl!" I called. He turned, saw her, and his face went blank. Then furious. Maria reached the bounce house line just as Ethan came running out, laughing, straight toward us. "Abuelita?" he said uncertainly. He'd seen old photos. He knew the word. Maria's face crumpled, tears instant. "Mi niño, Ethan, look at you, so big, so beautiful." She reached out. I stepped in front of him. "No!" Ethan looked up at me, confused. "Mummy?" Carl scooped him up. "Hey, buddy, let's go get a snow cone. Come on." Maria's voice rose. "Carlos, you can't keep him from me. He's my blood." Heads turned. Parents stared. I kept my voice low, lethal. "You have no right here. This is his school, his event. Leave. Now." She ignored me, eyes on Ethan. "Mijo, don't you want to meet your abuelita? I brought you a present, a little truck, like the one you like." Ethan peeked over Carl's shoulder, curious, innocent. Carl turned away. "We're leaving." Maria followed. "You can't do this! He's half mine!" Security, 2 school dads volunteering, stepped in. "Ma'am, you need to leave school property." She started crying louder. "They're keeping my grandson from me because I'm Mexican, because of blood." That did it. Phones came out. Someone called the principal. I stayed calm. "She has no visitation rights. Court ordered no contact after she tried to sue us. This is trespassing." The principal arrived, listened. Maria kept talking about tradition, about forgiveness, about how the boy needs his culture. Principal to Maria: "You need to leave immediately or police will be called." She looked at Ethan one last time. "I love you, mijo. I'll always love you." Then she turned and walked out, gift bag still in hand. Ethan was quiet on the drive home. In the car he asked, "Was that my abuelita?" Carl's voice was gentle. "Yes, buddy, that was her." "Why was she crying?" I answered. "Because sometimes grown-ups make big mistakes, and they hurt people they love. She hurt us a long time ago, so we had to keep distance to stay safe." "Will she come back?" Carl met my eyes in the rear view. "We hope not. But if she does, Mummy and Daddy will protect you. Always." That night we told him more. Simple version. "Abuelita said something very mean when you were a tiny baby. About your eyes and your skin. It hurt us a lot. So we decided she can't be around until she understands that's not okay." Ethan thought for a minute. "My eyes are blue like Mummy. That's good, right?" "Best eyes in the world," Carl said, kissing his forehead. He hugged us both. "I love you more than trucks." We laughed through tears. The school sent a follow-up email. Incident reported. trespass warning issued to Maria Rodriguez. Police notified for record. We changed Ethan's school pickup routine, added extra cameras at home. Maria didn't try again in person, but the damage was done. Ethan started asking more questions. We answered honestly, age appropriately. He drew a family picture at school the next week, us four, including my parents, and a tiny question mark where Maria should be. The teacher wrote a note. Ethan seems thoughtful about family. He's processing big feelings with grace. We framed that note. Years of silence stretched ahead, but that day, the uninvited appearance, marked the true end. Maria had one last chance to show change. She used it to make a scene, to center herself, to guilt-trip in public. And in doing so, she sealed the door forever. We never looked back. By then, he was tall for his age, all legs and curiosity, obsessed with soccer, dinosaurs, and building Lego cities that took over the living room. His blue eyes still turned heads. People always commented, always kindly. He'd grown into a kid who asked big questions, but didn't dwell on hurt for long. Third grade brought the Heritage Project. Every student had to create a poster or slideshow about their family's cultural background. Food, traditions, stories from grandparents or great-grandparents. Ethan came home excited. "I'm going to do both sides," he announced at dinner. "Mexican from Dad and American from you and Nana and Papa. I can show pictures of tacos and Thanksgiving turkey, and maybe the quilt Nana made me." Carl and I exchanged a look. We'd prepared for this. "That sounds perfect, buddy," I said. "What do you want to include about Abuelita Maria's side?" He shrugged. "I don't know much, but I can say she's from Mexico and she used to make tamales. Tia Rosa told me once when she sent that card." We'd never hidden the basics. Over the years, we'd shared small facts when he asked, where his last name came from, why some foods Carl cooked tasted like home, even though Carl was born in Chicago. But we'd kept the pain locked away until he was ready. That night, after Ethan was asleep, Carl said, "He's old enough now. We should give him more of the story. Let him decide what he wants to include." I agreed. The next evening, we sat him down with hot chocolate and his favorite dinosaur blanket. "Remember when we told you about Abuelita Maria?" Carl started. "How she said something really hurtful when you were a baby?" Ethan nodded slowly. "About my eyes being blue, and that I wasn't pure enough or something." "Yeah," I said gently. "She believed that only people who looked a certain way, dark hair, dark eyes, all Mexican ancestry, were real Rodriguez family. She rejected you because part of you comes from me, from my family. That hurt us so much, we had to protect you by not letting her be around." Ethan stirred his marshmallows. "Did she ever say sorry?" Carl took a breath. "She tried once, kind of. But it wasn't a real sorry. It was more like she wanted us to forget what she said. We couldn't do that." Ethan was quiet a long time. Then, "I don't want to put her on my poster if she doesn't like me. I'll do Dad's childhood stories instead. The ones about growing up with just you and Abuelo before he died. And the taquerias Abuelita built. That's still my heritage, right? Even if she doesn't want me." My heart cracked and mended in the same breath. "Yes, baby. That's exactly right.
Heritage isn't just blood. It's the good stories, the love, the strength you carry forward. He hugged us both. I love being half and half. It makes me special. The Heritage Project went up on the classroom wall. Ethan's poster had photos of Carl as a kid in front of the first taqueria, a picture of my parents at our wedding, Ethan in his soccer jersey holding a tamale and a slice of pumpkin pie. Title: My Mixed Family, Stronger Together. His teacher texted me a photo. This is one of the most thoughtful projects I've seen. Ethan is proud and secure. You've done something beautiful. We framed that text message too. Then, 3 weeks later, the video arrived. A private YouTube link sent from an unknown Gmail address we recognized instantly. Maria's old one. The one she used before we blocked everything. Subject line: For Ethan. Please watch when he's ready. Carl almost deleted it. I stopped him. Let's see what she has to say. Together. No Ethan yet. We watched on the laptop in the kitchen, volume low. Maria appeared on screen, older now, hair mostly silver, sitting in her living room surrounded by the same framed photos of Carl as a child. No new ones. She looked thinner, tired. Ethan, mi nieto, she began, voice trembling. I am your abuelita Maria. I know I hurt you and your parents very much. When you were born, I was scared. Scared of change. Scared our family would lose what made us special. I said terrible things. Things I cannot take back. But I think about you every day. I see your pictures. Your friends post them sometimes on Facebook. You are so handsome, so smart. Those blue eyes, they are beautiful. I was wrong. I was very wrong. She paused, wiped her eyes.
I am not asking to come back into your life if you don't want me. I just want you to know, I love you. I am proud of you. If you ever want to talk, to learn Spanish from me, to eat real tamales, I am here. I will wait as long as it takes. Forgive an old woman who was foolish. Te amo, mijo. Always. The video ended. Carl stared at the black screen. It's better than I expected. I felt the old anger rise. It's still about her. No real apology to me. No acknowledgement that she tried to sue us, that she trespassed at his school. It's a performance. And she sent it now, right after his heritage project. How did she even know about that? Carl frowned. Someone must be feeding her info. A cousin, a teacher friend, doesn't matter. We debated for days. Show Ethan? Not yet? Edit it? Delete it? In the end, we decided, show him the video, but with us there. Let him react. No pressure. Saturday afternoon. Ethan curled on the couch between us. We explained. Abuelita sent this. She wants to say sorry. You don't have to watch if you don't want to, and whatever you feel after is okay. He nodded. I want to see. We played it. Ethan watched quietly. When it ended, he said, She sounds sad. She is, Carl said, but sadness doesn't erase what she did. Ethan thought, I don't hate her.
But I don't want her to be my abuelita like Nana is. Nana loves all of me. This lady only loves part of me. I hugged him tight. You get to decide who's in your family, Ethan. Always. He looked up at us. Can I make a video back? Not to send, just for me. To say how I feel. We set up the phone. Ethan sat in his room, serious little face. Hi, Abuelita Maria. This is Ethan. I'm 8 now. I saw your video. Thank you for saying sorry. I'm glad you like my eyes now. But you hurt my mum and dad a lot, and me. When I was a baby, you said I wasn't real family because I look like Mummy too. That made me feel bad when I found out. I have Mexican in me and I love it. Dad teaches me words and we make churros. But I'm also American and proud of that. I don't want to be only one thing. I like being both. If you really love me, you have to love all of me, not just the parts that look like you. I don't think I'm ready to talk or visit. Maybe when I'm bigger. But for now, please don't come to my school again. It scared me. I hope you're okay. Bye. He stopped recording, looked at us. Should I send it? Carl shook his head gently. Only if you want to. But you don't owe her anything. Ethan thought. I don't want to send it, but I'm glad I said it out loud. It feels lighter. We saved the video in a private folder labelled Ethan's Truth. Someday, if he ever changed his mind, it would be there. That was the turning point for me. I'd spent years protecting, explaining, shielding. But watching my 8-year-old articulate boundaries so clearly, so kindly, so firmly, something shifted. I wasn't just surviving Maria's rejection anymore. I was done carrying it. A few months later, an anonymous Reddit post went up in r/am I the arsehole and r/justknowmill, cross-posted. Title: Mill rejected my newborn for not being pure blood. 8 years later, she sends apology video. We let our son respond on his own terms. At her for never sending it. I wrote the whole story: hospital scene, lawsuit, school trespass, the video, Ethan's unsent reply. Changed names, vague details. But the emotional core was there. It blew up. Thousands of upvotes, comments like, "Holy crap, your son is wiser at 8 than most adults. Protect that kid at all costs. She doesn't deserve the redemption arc she's fishing for. Pure blood rhetoric is straight-up eugenics vibes. Good riddance." The post hit trending, got picked up by some TikTok reactors who read family drama stories aloud. Views climbed into the millions. I never commented, never revealed myself. But seeing thousands of strangers validate what I'd felt for years, it was cathartic. Carl read the comments one night, smiled softly. They get it. Yeah, I said. They do. Maria never tried again after that. No more videos, no more surprise appearances. Whatever flying monkeys she had left must have backed off, maybe embarrassed, maybe finally seeing her clearly. Ethan turned 10 in 2032. He still plays soccer, still builds Lego empires. He started taking Spanish lessons online, not for her, but for himself. He calls it Dad's side of the story. Last Christmas he asked if we could make tamales from scratch. We did. The house smelled like cumin and massa and memories Carl hadn't let himself touch in years. While we rolled dough, Ethan said casually, "If Abuelita ever really changes, like really, I might talk to her someday. But only if she treats Mum like family too." Carl and I looked at each other over his head. "That's a good boundary, kiddo," Carl said. Ethan grinned, flour on his nose. "I learned from the best." And in that moment, kneading dough, laughing, no shadows in the room, I finally felt it. We hadn't just survived. We'd won. The door Maria slammed on my newborn son. We never opened it again. And we never will.
Ethan turned 13 in September 2035. Middle school had been kind to him. Mostly. He was on the varsity soccer team as an 8th grader, a big deal in our suburb. Played electric guitar in the garage band he started with 2 friends. And still had those piercing blue eyes that made people do double takes. He'd grown into his height, all lanky limbs and easy confidence. Girls left notes in his locker. Boys copied his hair. Teachers called him mature for his age. He was also fiercely protective of his story. When kids asked about his last name, "Rodriguez? But you look so white," he'd shrug and say, "Half Mexican, half whatever my mom is. It's cool. I get the best food from both sides." No defensiveness, no shame, just fact. We'd kept the no-contact wall up without effort. Maria never resurfaced in person. No more hospital guilt trips. No surprise school visits. Whatever network of relatives once fed her, information had dried up. Either they'd seen the light or Carl had quietly cut them all off too. We didn't ask. We didn't need to. Then came the college acceptance season. Ethan was 16. Spring 2038, junior year. He'd applied early to 6 schools: University of Illinois, in-state safety; Northwestern, Reach; USC, Dream because of the film program. He wanted to make documentaries someday. UT Austin, for the vibe and the tacos. UCLA, and, on a whim, UNAM in Mexico City, the National Autonomous University of Mexico. He'd applied mostly because his Spanish teacher pushed him. "You have the heritage. Why not see where it comes from?" He got into 5 out of 6, rejected from Northwestern, accepted everywhere else. The acceptance from UNAM came with a thick packet. Welcome letter in Spanish course catalog, photos of the historic campus. Ethan read it at the kitchen table, eyes wide. "I got in," he said. "To Mexico. Like, actually in Mexico." Carl froze mid-sip of coffee. "You're thinking about it?" Ethan nodded slowly. "I don't know yet, but yeah, maybe. I want to know more. Not just the food and the music Dad taught me, the real place, the history, all of it." I felt a pang, sharp, familiar. But not fear. Pride, mostly. "Whatever you choose, we'll support you." He chose USC, full-ride scholarship for a mix of academics and a short film he submitted about mixed-identity families. He didn't mention Maria by name, but the subtext was clear. We celebrated with churros and champagne, sparkling cider for him. Senior year flew. Graduation in June 2039. Ethan walked across the stage in his cap and gown, blue tassel swinging. My parents were there, front row, crying. Carl held my hand so tight it hurt, in the best way. After the ceremony, photos on the football field. Ethan in the middle, arms around both of us. A woman approached from the side, slow, hesitant, gray hair pulled back, same gold cross necklace she'd worn since the day he was born. Maria, older, smaller, walking with a cane now. Ethan saw her first. His smile faded into something neutral. Curious, guarded, but not afraid. Carl stepped forward instinctively. Mom. She stopped a respectful distance away. Carlos. Emily. Her voice was softer than I remembered, thinner. I didn't come to make trouble. I just wanted to see him graduate, from far away. But I couldn't stay away. I felt the old rage flicker, then settle. I was tired of rage. Ethan looked between us. Is this? Yeah, Carl said quietly. This is your abuelita Maria. Ethan studied her for a long moment. Then he stepped forward. Not close, but close enough. Hi, he said simply. Maria's eyes filled. Ethan, mi niño, you're so tall, so handsome. Those eyes. She smiled through tears. They're still so blue. He didn't flinch. Yeah, they are. She swallowed. I know I don't deserve this, any of this. But I needed to tell you, in person, not a video, that I was wrong. Completely wrong. I let pride and fear and stupid ideas about pure anything ruin the best thing that ever happened to our family. You. I hurt your mom. I hurt your dad. Most of all, I hurt you. And I will carry that shame until the day I die. Ethan listened. No interruption. I'm not asking for forgiveness today, she continued. Or tomorrow. Or ever, if that's what you decide. I just wanted you to know. I see you. All of you. The Mexican in you, the American in you, the soccer player, the filmmaker, the boy who makes his parents proud every single day. I see it, and I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner. Silence stretched. Ethan glanced at Carl, then at me. We both gave the tiniest nod. Your call. He took one more step. Not a hug. Not even a handshake. Just proximity. Thank you for saying that, he said. I heard your video years ago. I made one back, but I never sent it. I said pretty much the same thing you just did. If you want to love me, you have to love all of me, including Mom, including the parts of me that don't look like you. Maria nodded, tears streaming. I do. I promise I do. Ethan exhaled. I'm going to USC in the fall, studying film. Maybe someday I'll make something about this, about families, about what blood really means. Or maybe I won't. But if I ever want to talk, I'll reach out, on my terms. Maria's shoulders sagged, with relief, not defeat. That's more than I deserve. Thank you, mijo. He gave a small smile. It's Ethan, not mijo. Not yet. She nodded again. Ethan. Then she looked at Carl. I'm proud of you, Carlos, for protecting them, for being the father I never was a grandmother. Carl's voice was steady. Goodbye, Mom. She turned to me last. Emily, I'm sorry. For every cruel word, for the hospital, for everything. I met her eyes. No anger left, just calm. I accept your apology, but the door stays closed unless Ethan opens it. That's his choice, not ours. She bowed her head slightly. Understood. Then she walked away, cane tapping softly on the grass, disappearing into the crowd of celebrating families. Ethan watched her go. Then he turned back to us, exhaled like he'd been holding his breath for 16 years. You okay? I asked. He nodded. Yeah. Weirdly. Yeah. It felt final. Like the story ended the way it was supposed to. Carl pulled him into a hug. You handled that like a man, kid. Ethan laughed. I learned from you too. We took more photos, ate bad stadium food, laughed until our sides hurt. That night, back home, Ethan went to his room, came out 20 minutes later with a USB drive. I edited something, he said. Short, just for us. We watched on the TV. It was 3 minutes. Clips from his life, baby photos, blue eyes staring at the camera, toddler Ethan eating tamales with Carl, kindergarten heritage poster, soccer goals, guitar solos, the unsent video from when he was 8, intercut with quiet voiceover, his voice now, a deeper. Family isn't just blood, it's who shows up, Who stays? Who sees you? All of you. And chooses love anyway. I have Mexican roots. I have American roots. I have parents who fought for me when someone tried to make me feel less than whole. And because of them, I know exactly who I am. The screen faded to black. Text appeared. To the grandmother I never really knew. Thank you for the apology. I forgive you. But I don't need you. I already have everything I need. No credits, no music, just truth. Carl cried. I cried. Ethan just smiled. Think I'll send it to her someday? He asked. Maybe, I said. Or maybe it stays ours. Either way, it's yours. He nodded. Yeah, it's mine. Years later, Ethan, 22, graduating USC with honors. His senior thesis, a documentary short about multiracial identity that won a Student Academy Award. I still think about that day on the football field. Maria passed away in 2041. Quietly. Heart failure. We found out through an obituary. Tia Rosa emailed. The one address we never blocked, in case of emergencies. Carl went to the funeral alone, paid respects, came home and said, she looked peaceful, and there were photos of Ethan on the mantel, old ones, but they were there. He didn't cry. He just held us both a little tighter. The revenge? It was never dramatic. No big public humiliation. No courtroom showdown. It was quieter. Deeper. It was Ethan, confident, whole, loved, walking into the world knowing his worth wasn't measured by eye color or last name. It was Carl, finally free of guilt, cooking tamales with his son and laughing without looking over his shoulder. It was me, once the white girl who ruined the bloodline, raising a family that proved love dilutes nothing. It multiplies. Maria called my son It the day he was born. She tried to erase him because he carried my DNA. In the end, he carried all of us forward, stronger, prouder, freer. And that, my friends, is the sweetest revenge of all.